Hey guys, so today I'm gonna be looking at Let's Leave Gut Feelings. So yeah, let's just get right into the video. Back when I was a teen, a group of friends and I went out on like a Saturday night to this abandoned house out in a field. It was clearly an old farmhouse, but it had been abandoned long enough that the gravel road overgrew. You had to walk past like 2 fields of tall grass and some kind of water drainage ditch type of thing to get to it. So, we're dumb kids, but not vandals or anything. We just planned to go out there and explore a little. It was dilapidated, but not to the point it didn't look like a house anymore. The house still had a bunch of personal stuff in it, like newspapers from the 60s and whatnot. It even had some nasty old curtains still blowing in the upstairs, broken windows. Sounds like a haunted house. I was walking through the kitchen with a flashlight when I heard something move upstairs. Well, that was about it for me. I ran outside and stood by the front door, trying not to shine my light at the upstairs windows. I told my friends I thought there might be something upstairs, so they all went to the stairwell, which was right by the front door, and started daring each other to go up. One of them got like 4 steps up before something shuffled from the floor above again. We heard a very human-like groan, and that turned it into a screw this moment, where we all bolted out, and it was briefly every teen for themselves as we ran back through the field. In retrospect, it was probably just a raccoon or some bats or something up there, but still not worth sticking around to find out if it was a rabid animal or a hobo that might kneecap us for getting close to his stash. That's so creepy. This is why you shouldn't go into like abandoned places to explore. Like, you never know what's there. You never know who's lurking around there, you know? And people know it's abandoned, meaning they know no one's gonna be there, and who knows? Because they think no one's gonna be there, they might be doing some crazy things there, you know? In my early 20s, I'd go urban exploring with a group of friends from college. One cold night in October, 7 of us went to an abandoned, formerly state-run asylum. Why do people like exploring abandoned places so much? Like, seriously, that's the last place I'd go to. It was on a big campus with several large buildings. The roads were disused but not closed, so we were able to get pretty close by car and luckily found a good spot in some brush to hide them in. We were pretty bad at sneaking. People were talking. One dude was messing with a laser pointer, etc. Luckily, there wasn't really any security patrolling, but I knew there could be other people to hide from. We went to explore one of the main buildings, 10 plus stories tall, surrounded by a chain link fence. Eventually, we found a hole and climbed in. Searching between the fence and the outer wall, I swore I heard twigs breaking in the wood behind the building. We were basically trapped between the fence and the building, and the only way out was the way we came, which was also the direction the sound was coming from. 2 of the girls with us were joking around, and the kid with the laser was still playing with it. I started to get nervous and told them to knock it off, but they were having fun and didn't care. All of a sudden, there was this loud yelling like an old man in pain. Everyone shut up, and after a moment, we heard tons of twigs snapping. Now I was panicking, and I yelled for us to all run. We scrambled out of the fence and back to our cars, sure that death was right behind us. Looking back at it now, it was probably just a few raccoons going at it, or a squatter who was more scared of us. Why? Just why? Why do you want to explore abandoned places? Like, there's nothing to see, okay? Like, there's nothing other than the adrenaline rush you get. I guess some people love that kind of thing. When me and 2 of my cousins went camping with our family, probably about 8 to 9 years old, we stayed in a campground that had a playground near our spot. We would often go, just the 3 of us, to play and go back to our camper when it started to get dark because it wasn't too far. But one day we were playing and we weren't the only kids there. But this man, 40s, came up to us with a dog and started talking to my cousins, and they were very trusting. He kept asking them if they wanted hot dogs or cookies and where they were from, and telling us that his camper was just over there if we wanted snacks. This guy gave me super weird vibes immediately, so I looked at my cousins after being quiet the whole time and said, "I think I hear my grandma yelling for us. Dinner is probably ready." And they argued and were confused, but after I gave them the look, they just shrugged and listened to me. Oh my gosh. Oh, for sure he was up to something. For sure. For sure. That dog though. Was he using the dog to be like more trusting, you know? He must have been using the dog to feel like he's approachable, you know? How dare he use the dog? It's already a red flag when someone is like telling you, "Oh, I have cookies there, I have cookies there if you follow me, you know. Like, adults should know better. Like, if you really wanted to give them cookies or treats, bring it with you, you know. You go back yourself and bring it to them. Don't make them go to your place. Seriously, adults know better. If they didn't want to harm anyone, they wouldn't have been like, I have treats in my camper, come with me. And adults know that kids are taught to not to follow strangers, even if they give like snacks or like lollies, you know. So this just give me like all the red flags. The time I felt a small shark delicately scrape my foot with its teeth in its effort to curiously figure out what I was. Like, it literally felt like it gently took my heel into its mouth, and I felt the barest brush of teeth all around my heel. It didn't break the skin. I didn't realize it was a shark, murky water, until I reflexively kicked and felt its sharky skin against the bottom of my foot. It felt like a small shark. My mum told me my eyes got huge, and I looked at her like I wanted to nope right out of the ocean that second. I didn't go back in the water. Please don't go into murky water. Like, you never know what's down there. I was coming back from a late night walk. It was almost midnight. I had left my apartment a couple hours earlier to clear my head, and I was feeling better, so I decided to come back. It was pitch black outside, no moonlight, so I decided to cut through campus so I could walk by the street lamps. I had earbuds in blasting music, but I got this sudden sick feeling in my stomach, like it was twisting. My entire body felt ice cold, so I took out my earbuds, stopped walking, and looked around. I was on the sidewalk, about 50 meters from the left turn to change streets. I looked to my right across the other side and saw someone/thing just roll down this hill out of the woods. They landed on the sidewalk parallel to me, stood up, and just stared. What? They just rolled down the hill from the woods? What? What is this thing? You know that feeling when you get burned? That feeling shot through my entire body, and before I knew it, I was sprinting towards the street to the left, away from whatever that was. I looked behind me once, and they were now on my side of the street, sprinting towards me. Their legs were running normally, but they were letting their arms flop around as they ran. It was the creepiest thing I have ever seen in my life. I tripped and fell and heard the steps catching up. I rolled out of the fall and kept going. Got to a parking lot and hid under a car. I waited but didn't see anyone. Scariest thing that has ever happened to me. So they don't know what it was? They don't even know if it was a person or not? Maybe it was a monkey, you know, it just rolled down from the hill and started chasing someone. Oh, that is so creepy. That imagery that I just got in my head of like the arms flopping but the legs were running. That is scary. When my sister and I were walking through a zoo, we came across the orangutan closure. The fence wasn't very high, but there was a large moat that separated us from a large male orangutan. He was looking at us intensely and doing something strange with its hands behind his back. I saw the sign near the exhibit and ran, leaving my sister behind. I ran as fast as I could, survival of the fittest, you know. She was very confused by my sudden and panicked departure, until she read the same sign that said, "Warning, orangutan often throws its feces at guests." What the heck? What? It throws its poop? It just hates humans. We had an apartment on the top floor that they let us use to just hang out, and it allowed us easy access to the roof. One night we were about to go up, but I had to pee, so I told him I'd meet him up there. After I was done, I went upstairs to the attic portion that was connected to the roof. There were no lights, so we always used our phones to guide us. We had those old flip phones without lights, so you only had the light from the screen to help navigate the cluttered mess that was up there. As I made my way to the roof door, I saw a shadow pass by me. Now this wasn't like the shadow of something moving with the light of my phone. This shadow felt like a solid person. I followed the direction it went, thinking it was my friend. I kept saying that I knew it was him and to stop playing around. It passed me a few more times before heading to the other side of the attic, and that's when I heard my friend's voice from downstairs. He got a call from his girlfriend and was in another room talking to her the whole time. I have no idea what that shadow figure was, but it really freaked me out, and I basically jumped down the stairs. I told my friend what happened and that I did not want to go back up there, and he agreed, so we decided to go for a walk instead. What? So it was like a solid shadow? Well, not even like a shadow, but like it was a person that looked like a shadow? I'm confused. That is really creepy though. In high school, a friend and I jogged down into a deep wooded valley at night. We saw some guys from school in a car at the bottom of the valley. Legend has it that this place has evil imps, so we thought it would be fun to scare them. We both started making these crazy imp screams and noises as loud as we could. They freaked and got in their car, taking off as fast as they could, leaving us in the pitch dark. Behind us in the forest valley, many animals or creatures started making the exact same screams we made as imps. We both looked at each other and mutually freaked out. Ran all the way back to town, which was about 3 miles uphill in the dark. Creepy. Well, they were the ones who caught them, you know. They just responded, that's all. Well, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me in the comments down below what your thoughts are. And as always, thanks for watching. Hope you guys liked it. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!